Let's do it.
Hey, I just want to be able to first off introduce myself. My name is James Bailey. I am a MBA Meco Management student, graduating this upcoming semester. So very excited about that. And here's my partner, David. You can go into a quick introduction about yourself.
Sure. Hey, yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Darnell. My name is David Soleimani. I'm currently a MBA student at St. John's. I'm going for management and entrepreneurship. And we are super excited to do this interview with you. And we're going to start off with James to start the questions.
Right. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So Darnell, can you state your full name, the company that you work for, and can you just tell us a little bit about the role that you have there with this company?
Yeah, well, James, David, thanks for having me. Excited to talk through, just my opinion on, some of the ways that DoorDash is working to sustainably invest back in the community. Want to just preface by saying that, these are all my opinions on like all the great work that DoorDash is doing, but not representing DoorDash at an official capacity. And now that that's out the way, like Darnell Marescot, I've been working with DoorDash for the last 2.5 years primarily on their Dasher growth marketing team. And what that entails is I help think about some of the product and marketing levers that we can pull in order to make sure that we're getting, all the Dashers that we need in the submarkets that we need them, to ultimately ensure that folks get their deliveries on time. And, have enjoyed that work, have learned and grown a lot in that work as well. And while I've been there, really got a chance to see some of the work that DoorDash is doing, not only to, I think, create a marketplace for food delivery and other item delivery, but also make sure that we're doing it sustainably as well.
Awesome. So from your point of view, are there any or some initiatives that DoorDash prioritizes to drive social impact within that community, within your communities?
Yeah, for sure. So like I think maybe to take a step back, right? Like there are kind of I'll say like three or four main levers of DoorDash, right? Like it's our commitment to consumers through like the consumer app that everyone knows and loves that we use to order food. There's our commitment to merchants, which, include many of the restaurants that are on the DoorDash app, that are ultimately preparing the food. And then our commitment to dashers, right? Like the people that are actually going out, picking up that food, and bringing it back to, whoever that consumer is. And then I'd say like the fourth one is like our employees and myself included, and some of the ways that DoorDash helps to support, some of the charitable foundations that we'd like to work with. So would love to address like each of them individually. I think starting with consumers, one of the big programs that DoorDash instituted starting in 2018 was Project Dash. And essentially what that is was, we felt like that we could drive impact, that DoorDash could drive impact um, in delivering food to people that were experiencing food insecurity throughout the U.S. and abroad. And since starting in 2018, found that DoorDash, since has made like 5 million deliveries, including like 80 million meals to 3 million people that were experiencing like food insecurity throughout the U.S. Right, so like really impactful numbers. Focused on like our commitment to, or DoorDash's commitment to, really improving, the situation in the U.S. And so, like as a prospective employee, thinking about where I wanted to work next in 2021, like this was immediately one of the things that drew me to the company. Like wanted to be, um, in an environment where I was being challenged critically, but also with a company that had a mission, to really impact people. And so Project Dash is like one of the first ones that really struck out to me. On the merchant side, what we do is we have an accelerator program where we partner with local merchants, helping them to really optimize their business strategy, increase their reach, to consumers like pretty close by. And we do that for brick and mortar restaurants, but also folks that deliver packaged goods. And so we've had that accelerator program for some time to that knowledge, and people can apply, to get DoorDash's assistance on like how to better grow their business. And then for Dashers, right? Like I think in particularly like why I'm super excited to work on the Dasher app is because like we are really providing like a new way of working. For a lot of people who are caregivers who need a flexible way to either make a little bit of money on the side or even leverage dashing as a full-time job. I've gotten an opportunity to talk to a number of dashers through my work, and use the research studies, and they'll share that dashing is a way to, make a little bit of money for my child's daycare. Dashing is a way to, really like provide some additional financing so that I can take care of my parents, during times when I would normally be working. And so it's been great to kind of hear, those stories, and really speaks to, I think, how door dashing is a sustainable way to work and work flexibly, as they were working through a number of different challenges, or even just to make, you know, some recurring money to pay off like daily necessities in their lives. Sometimes it could be tuition, it could be, childcare, it could be, senior care for loved ones as well. And so yeah, I think hearing those stories as I work have been um, really, I think, really motivating and inspiring reasons to kind of continue the work and love what I do.
All amazing things. It's got me excited actually just listening to all that. So,
Nice.
of the 17 goals that the UN has in place, what stands out to you that at least from your opinion, that DoorDash is looking to attack first?
Yeah, from my opinion, I really saw three that made sense for me, or like I think there's a zero hunger piece, and I don't think that DoorDash alone is going to drop that number to zero, but I do think through Project Dash, it's really exciting to see them do meaningful work to really attack that the issue of food insecurity in the U.S. I think the eighth one, right, like decent work and economic growth. I think the idea of what it means to be a dasher and a flexible opportunity to earn, by really making the hours that you want when you want, speaks to creating an environment for decent work and economic growth for people who otherwise wouldn't have like that flexible means of income. And then like the 10th one, right, like around like reducing inequality, I think one exciting statistic that I've seen, that really came out of like a 2023 U.S. Dasher survey is that like 47% of our dashers are people of color, 60% of dashers are women, you know, 94%, like 35%, are dashing as a way to not have to sign up for government benefits. And so, like, this to me speaks to, our ability, like, through providing this additional way of employment or this additional way to get it on the road and make money as you'd like. Um, is a way in which we're helping to reduce inequality. And again, is a reason why I'm really excited to work for DoorDash and continue the work that I've been doing over the last 2.5 years.
Awesome. So with the company your size, you mentioned three goals specifically. Are you guys looking to attack these goals one at a time, or is it more of a multi-level facet attack that you guys, are able to do everything in terms of achieving these three goals at once?
Yeah, like I can't speak to like how we're achieving the goals. I will say like a lot of the initiatives that I had mentioned earlier are happening kind of simultaneously, and I know that we have a dedicated team working toward each of these initiatives. And again, I think from like the outside looking in, from my experience, again, it has been super exciting to see and get some updates on like some of the great work that our I think the social impact team is doing with regards to Project Dash and the accelerator program and some of the other initiatives that I've mentioned.
Awesome. So yeah, you covered some of these other additional questions that I already had lined up in
Sure.
terms of the business initiative that you guys have created to achieve these goals, which is amazing. And I appreciate how attentive you actually have been to these questions.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
I'll wrap it up with this last question here. What are some short and long-term effects of these business innovations that you mentioned? And I know you mentioned some tangible evidence already, but are there any direct impacts to the business that you feel that these business innovations have brought so far?
Yeah, I think like the big one was just some of the Project Dash numbers that I had shared earlier. To my knowledge, I think in terms of its impact on me, right, like it's important to work for a company that is committed to helping in a sustainable way. Again, it was one of my motivations for joining this company back in 2021. It is definitely like a part of my reasons for staying and continuing to, uh, you know, put my effort into making like the Dasher app a better app and getting Dashers to join our platform and Dash with us because I do think we are helping in the long run. But nothing outside of what I shared earlier. But I think again, as an employee, like really excited to continue seeing the work that DoorDash does, to push sustainability forward.
Perfect. And I'll pass it to my partner here, David, to wrap us up with these last inner questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. So how does the innovation that you mentioned benefit society and or the environment?
Yeah, I think like the societal benefit is, one like through Project Dash, really helping folks with that are experiencing food insecurity get access to meals, right? Like in really putting our best foot forward there. I think from a merchant standpoint, right, thinking about giving them access to resources through the accelerator program and really like helping to broaden their reach in a way that they previously might not have been able to. And again, like putting our best foot forward there. And then one thing that I hadn't had a chance to talk about is really like what DoorDash does for employees. So like there are a couple of ways in which DoorDash pushes employees like me to give. I think like one, we leverage this third party called Bonusly, which recognizes colleagues for some of the hard work that they do by basically allowing them to give out credits, that we can then basically turn in as a voucher toward sometimes like goods like Amazon or some like marketplace goods, but also toward sustainable efforts as well. And so like I think last year when I cashed out of the bonus lead that I got through recognition from employees, like I was able to give that money to like the United Negro College Fund towards the end of the year, which I thought was like a really good way to keep employees engaged and I mean honestly like work toward leveraging bonusly to give back. So that's one way. And then DoorDash also has and is piloting like kind of like a donation matching program where if we on a one-off like have a program that we want to support, we can sometimes like reach out to like the broader just like social impact group in order to get some funding towards there. So I think in addition to a lot of the great work that DoorDash is doing for merchants, for Dashers, and for consumers, they are also pushing employees to really support causes that they're heavily invested in and are partnering with us to do so, which is super exciting.
Awesome, awesome. And for the next question, you may have already answered parts of this in the previous, but just in case, how does the innovation that you mentioned benefit the business also?
Yeah, can't speak to like how it benefits the business. I do think from my personal lens, like as
Mhm.
an employee, I think it keeps us engaged, right? Like I think everyone wants to work with for a company that has a broader mission, and it is exciting to see that DoorDash does place a particular care in corporate social responsibility and sustainability. So yeah, from my experience, like I think that's one of my reasons for staying, and I know that there are a number of my colleagues who are equally like excited that DoorDash is contributing in such an important way.
Love it, love it. What inspired DoorDash to attack and prioritize the goals that you mentioned for?
Yeah, I think like can't speak to like what initially inspired them. I would assume that in my understanding that like we felt like it just made sense like our commitment to creating a marketplace for food. I think in thinking about how we can socially do the right thing, like I'm sure like this is how like DoorDash started to stand up a lot of these initiatives. So unfortunately can't speak to like um
Mhm.
the why, but like from my experience, I think that was maybe some of the impetus there.
Awesome, awesome. Um, are you aware of any significant challenges in implementing sustainability initiatives in a large company such as DoorDash? Anything you can think of?
Not that I could think of offhand. Sorry about that.
If not, it's all right. It's all right. Just a few more questions and hopefully we should be wrapping up.
Yeah.
Can you possibly share a success story where a sustainability initiative at DoorDash led to significant positive outcomes?
Yeah, for sure. Like I think Project Dash is the main one, and I think like the one that DoorDash has continued to push. You know, like 5 million deliveries, 80 million, estimated meals, and then like 3 million people impacted. I think is super exciting, and to have been able to do that since 2018 again was like staggering to me. The numbers weren't quite as high in 2021, but again, like I think one of the main reasons why I joined was, you know, seeing not just the work that they're doing on making the platform better, making the business better, but to see that they were contributing in such a sustainable way was really really exciting.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear it. Um, how do sustainability projects impact like financial performance at DoorDash, would you say?
Can't speak to that one, unfortunately. And also I honestly don't have enough context, as an employee, kind of on the Dasher side.
Right. That's all right. That's all right. Um, how do you envision the evolution of sustainability practices in your business sector over the next decade?
Yeah, it's a good one. Like, from my experience, like I think, especially in tech, um, you know, you have to care about like your broader impact societally. From a you know competitive, like making sure that you're getting the right talent in the room, right? Like I think we care about that stuff. Like we care about the impact that you're driving outside of just like, the raw business numbers. And I can speak for myself, like I care about that stuff. But I think like in the next 10 years, right, it's gonna be thinking about like how we can do that more efficiently, how we can include employees in that work and really make them feel like their employer is supporting them in some of the individual work that they're doing, because not only is there like a enterprise wide push to corporate sustainability, but then you have like individual employees that are thinking about in their local communities how they can drive more of an impact. And so again, like really excited that DoorDash has already started to support employees in this way, and really encourage us to give back.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And final question, and you'll be good to go. What motivates you personally to continue working towards sustainability? And I'm sure you've already mentioned a little bit of this before. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the last piece that I didn't mention is, my mom owns a restaurant. She's had a restaurant for 10 years, pretty close to where I grew up. And so, this is very real for me. Like, I think DoorDash's work toward helping merchants accelerate and really stand up their business has, I think that level of personal investment has been something that's benefited my life personally, right? Like watching my mom stand up her own restaurant while having a full-time job on the side. What that meant for our family in terms of her ability to pay for my school and my brother's school and my sister's school. And so, firsthand really got a chance to see um, what standing up a restaurant, standing up a business can do for a family personally. And so to see that, I can now work for a company that is helping businesses do that, helping businesses increase their reach, knowing how that can impact a business owner and their family and people close to them. Again, is really like a, a once in a lifetime opportunity. And one of the main reasons why I joined in 2021. So for me personally, like this work matters. It isn't, mainly about the metrics, but I think some of the impact that you can drive, and it's not just on the businesses to do that, but like I think we personally as employees, um, if we keep that as like a personal ethos, can continue to drive impact as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Darnell. That's gonna wrap up the questions on my end. So
Yeah.
thank you so
So
much.
again,
Mhm.
Darnell, we really just want to reiterate and thank you for setting your time aside. We know you have a really, really busy schedule. And everything that you said was so, eloquently put and well worded that I feel like I came out of this interview now with even a broader perspective on sustainability. So I thank you for that very much. And again, we just want to make sure that moving forward, you do have the best of luck with your company and all of the best wishes to you. And again, thank you again.
Yeah, Yeah, no problem. Really enjoyed having the opportunity to talk to you both today. Thanks so much for the questions. And yeah, hope hope I was able to provide some insight where possible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. And good luck to you and with all your work and everything you're, looking forward to do for yourself in your future. Thank you
Thanks so
again.
much.
Appreciate it.
Have a great rest of the day. Take
You
care.
too. Bye.
Take care.